Have you ever imagined the day when the seven guardians of your dreams slowly began to walk on different paths? Imagine a morning where you open your phone and find the ARMY world shaking violently. A bolt of lightning struck the timeline. Breaking. Jungkook officially gone. Rumors that had been only a whisper finally came to the surface. Jungkook, the Golden Magne, is rumored to be taking a step that has been feared by many fans. His contract is reportedly nearing an end, and the situation is reportedly not as rosy as it used to be. The virtual world immediately shook. The timeline was filled with tears, prayers, and 1,000 questions that had no answers. Is this the end of an era? However, in the midst of all that noise, there was one voice that I was waiting for. Taehyung, the secret keeper and Jungkook's best friend, finally opened his mouth. Through a platform, V delivered something that instantly made everyone glued. "Please don't get me wrong," he said, in an unusual tone, full of wisdom and a little sad. "Every end is a new beginning. We will always be BTS, wherever we are." And behind his shady words, hidden shakes of emotions that he tried to restrain. The eyes that used to sparkle with laughter now radiate deep sadness. "We've been through so many seasons together, ARMY. Sunny summers and long winters. Trust us as you always do." The ARMY's reaction on social media is not without reason. It is a moment that is both feared and realized will come one day. As if seeing a beautiful chapter in a favorite book slowly come to an end, their hearts are torn between support and a deep sense of loss. Some fans carefully analyzed every word from Taehyung, looking for hidden clues about the group's future. Others simply shared sweet memories of Jungkook, making his name #trending as a final form of tribute as what's really going on behind the scenes. A source close to big hit music gave an official statement that added to the mystery. "We are in the process of discussions regarding the renewal of the contracts of the members. All decisions will be communicated officially to the ARMY." This diplomatic statement does not address anxiety, but rather confirms that serious negotiations are underway. In the midst of all this uncertainty, however, there is one common thread that unites all the comments, cries and prayers from ARMY around the world. Unshakable love. They promise to support whatever the seven members decide because, after all, BTS is not just a music group for them. They are home, family, and part of the soul. And in the eerie silence after the storm, a new hope began to blossom. Speculation continued to roll in, but the ARMY's focus began to shift. No longer on the question, "Is this the end?" but on the promise of, "How will we support their next steps?" In the dark corners of the internet, a short video from last year's concert suddenly went viral. In the video, Jungkook, with teary eyes looking at the sea of ARMY bombs, whispers softly into the microphone, "No matter where these feet go, my heart will always go home to you." Words that used to be considered ordinary sweet phrases now feel like a premonition, a subtle preparation for a breakup that may be inevitable. Meanwhile, Taehyung is known to spend hours in the studio. Is it a form of escape, or is it preparation? A famous producer accidentally posted a photo of himself with V on Instagram stories, accompanied by the cryptic caption, "Working with a genius full of vision. Something big is coming." This post was immediately deleted, but it's nothing if netizens have made it proof. Is this a sign of a solo project? Or is it precisely a song for BTS that marks the transition? What is clear? The wave of ARMY support is no longer a cry, but has turned into real action. The charity project on behalf of Jungkook and Taehyung is trending worldwide with the hashtag Forever with BTS. They proved that the most important thing is not form, but essence. BTS may be changing, but the bond that has been woven through the years will never fade. The members, with all their vulnerability, have taught the meaning of honesty and a beautiful farewell. Behind the rumble of news and speculation, a deeper truth began to trickle slowly, like tears that had finally been shed after so long being held. As it turns out, Jungkook's departure, if that's true, was not a betrayal, but a sacrifice. Whispers from the industry mention that this move is part of a grand strategy that has been discussed by the seven members. a plan to strengthen HYB's foundation and penetrate the global market in a more personalized and broad way. Jungkook, with his talent and global charisma, was asked to be a pioneer, and Taehyung? His voice that finally broke was not a sign of weakness, but of courage. It was he who reluctantly chose to be the mouthpiece of the most painful feelings, making sure the army heard this truth from them, not from the media. In solitude, in a quiet cafe in Seoul, he once told a close friend, "It's better that they get mad at me now for being honest, than hurt later for lying." Those words, which eventually spread, made many of the army look down in shame. Their anger turned to anger. They realized, behind the smiles and laughter of the stage, these 7 men had borne a much heavier burden than could be imagined. The sky doesn't seem so clear anymore. Dawn begins to break, bringing new understanding. Leaving is not the end, but rather an expansion. BTS is not breaking up. They are evolving. They will return, perhaps in a different formation, but with the same bond. And the army? They're ready. Ready to support Jungkook on his solo adventures. Welcome Taehyung's solo work, and look forward to the day when the 7 names will be reunited on one stage, not as idols caged in expectation, but as artists who have conquered the world in their own way. Because in the end, it's not about goodbye. It's about see you again in a more mature, deeper, and perhaps even more enduring form.